Hey you guys, it's Meek Legacy here. Um, this question I get asked a lot, quite a lot actually. What made me leave the States? Um, Honestly, it was not just one thing, it was everything. Um, as a single African American mom of four, I am an entrepreneur, now an entrepreneur, and I also live with a disability. So, for me, it was, like I said, a number of things. It was overstimulation from work, it was stress, it was emotional heaviness from, high costs of trying to make it and live and survive in America. Um, in 2023, I was diagnosed with heart failure. Um, and that was a heavy blow. Um, I have a 2 year old daughter, a 5 year old son, a 10-year-old son, and a 18-year-old son. And at the time, my youngest was about 9 months old when I got that diagnosis. So you can imagine it makes you think. It puts some things in perspective. You kind of go through the why me phase. Um, and my background is in healthcare. So my background is in healthcare administration. And I had enough with I can't even lie. I ain't gonna hold y'all and say politics didn't play a part in it. Politics plays a big part in it also. Reason being because I am a woman of color and I have children of color and I have three boys of color. Um, and that's a problem for me. When I registered my son this year for school, my senior for school, there was a question on his application or his school enrollment form, and it was a yes or no question, but there was no option for you to choose no. It was only yes, and the question was, do I consent to giving my permission for you to give his information to recruiters in the case of a draft? And there has been talk and speculation of, bringing the draft back. What you're not going to do is draft any of mine. So, if they willingly want to go to the military, I support it. But you're not coming and knocking on my door and telling me, hey, my baby's got to go to war. Especially not for the wig that's in office that's causing the world to be our enemies. Um, so it just kind of started making me, it caused me to think, and it caused me to reevaluate, and it caused me to think about, what I want out of life, what I want for my children, for their lives and their futures, and what legacy I want to leave for my babies. um, so I started researching. I did Google searches on, top safest places to live in the world. I had a couple of family members that had been living overseas, and she's got kids and her husband, and they've been thriving. So, I was just like, well, why not? Why not me? Was I scared? Absolutely. Hell to the yeah. Terrified. But one thing I have learned in life is fear stops life. It don't stop death, but it does stop life. And I wanted to live. I want to show my kids that they can live. And listening to everything in America will have you thinking that this is the best place to live. It's the only place that you can, make it and live and thrive and survive. And it's not true. So when I researched it, I moved pretty quick, y'all. So when I set my mind to it, it's like I'm gonna go and we going. So what I did was I researched it for about 2 months. Once I did the Google search and found the top 10 places, Thailand was one of those places that was in the top 10. And then I went and I looked on Facebook. I watched YouTube videos. I looked up to see where there was community for African Americans, how they treat African Americans, what their society was like, what their social life and it was like. Was it comparable to, what we had here? So I wanted it to be an easy transition for anything. I wanted it to be an easy transition. So what I did was, after I researched all of those things and I found the different groups, I saved them, I joined them, I asked questions. I did this over the course of about 2 months. I want to say we started at the end of August, middle end of August researching, and by October 24th, we were out. We were on a plane to Thailand. And I left my two oldest children just because I had a senior. I didn't want to take him out of school. And then I left my fourth grader. I didn't want to take him out of school. But my 5 year old and my 2 year old, I brought them with me. And when I say it was the best thing I could have ever done, it was the best thing I could have ever done. My kids are resilient, and I think we have more fear of how they're going to react to it than how they actually react to it. And my 5 year old and 2 year old couldn't even tell that we had relocated and left. They knew that, Nana and Paw and their other siblings weren't just readily available for them to play with. They saw them on video calls, but that was the only thing that, you know, kind of, I guess they kind of recognized is that they just weren't there right there like they normally were. Other than that, it is so family friendly and family oriented in Thailand that they didn't even, it wasn't nothing. They didn't care. They did not care. They couldn't see Nana. They did not care. They couldn't see their siblings. They didn't care at all. They had so much to do, so much to play with. We got a nanny, a full time nanny, and she's been great. They took to her very well. So I mean, they've got same restaurants that we have here. They've got some of those over there, and then they've got new foods, that we had never had before that we tried. So it was very liberating, and it was a very good experience. Um, I was scared, but I did it scared. Um, I didn't want fear to stop me. As far as my health goes, they have a really good healthcare system that is there also. They have really good doctors. Medication, my heart medications, without insurance here, one medication would cost me about $879. That same medication I was able to get in Thailand by just going to the pharmacy, knowing the name of the medication I needed, the milligrams that I needed, and I was able to get that same medicine for like $15 for a 30-day supply. The cost of living is amazing when you compare it to the United States. It can be as expensive as you want it to be. It can be as cheap as you want it to be. But those was my reasons for moving. I wanted a better life and a better living situation for myself and my kids. I wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle. I wanted more peace. I didn't want to be overstimulated. As a parent, we don't mean to take it out on our kids when we're overstimulated or we're stressed out or we've got so much weight on us because you got to hustle and you got to hustle hard and it's nonstop because everything is so high. Inflation is real. And I don't have to do that in Thailand. I actually have days now where it's like I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. The kids are gone with the nanny. I don't have to work as hard. My career has changed. I work for myself, so I make my own schedule now. Um, I don't have that emotional heaviness. Like my cup is not overflowing with stress and overstimulation and high cost anymore. It's not unbearable. Like I actually have the capacity to just be me, be mom, love on my kids, self-care, and it's not costing me an arm and a leg to do the self-care. I go and get an hour foot massage like 3 times a week and it's like 20 something dollars total for all 3 sessions. So I needed a new beginning, and Thailand has given me that new beginning. Not only that, traveling to other places is a lot more cost effective now living in Thailand than it is in the States. Me and the kids want to take a weekend trip to Bali. For me and all four of the kids, it may be $400, $500 for a round trip ticket for all of us. If I want to take a trip to Bali from the States, it's gonna cost me 900 to $1,500 for one person round trip. So us traveling and being able to be exposed to more culture is a lot more cost efficient than it is being here in the United States. And the people are so friendly and they love all my babies and they're so helpful. You got butt heads everywhere here and there, but it's different. It's safe. I walk the streets at night by myself and I don't worry about anything. So I love Thailand and it was the best decision I could have made. And if you're thinking about it, jump, do it. Don't let fear stop you from living. I'm living now. You can too.